Welcome, leadership, to your last session on understanding and appreciating somebody's world. All right, if we want to understand how to really create change in the ones we love, our clients, and everyone around us, we need to understand their world, right? Now, here's the last part of it. First, we understood how their emotional state, their mental state of the moment affects their mindset, and their mindset affects what they're going to do or not do, right? Their behaviors or their actions. So you've learned that when you change their state, right, their mental state, you change their mindset and beliefs in the moment, and therefore what they do or don't do. Okay. Then we learned about the specific beliefs or mindsets that really goes into how someone is feeling and what they're willing to do or not do. Right. Now, what we're going to do is talk about the specific needs that are behind all of this. Because we talked about how behavior actually works and what starts it, like what creates those things, what creates the feelings to want to act on something. But why do we do any of this? What's the point of any of it? There's got to be a reason behind it all, right? That is what these 6 units are about. So without further ado, let me share my screen with you and get right to it. By the way, when you understand these 6 needs, you are going to have a one up, so to speak, on every person, therapist, counselor, human, whatever you want to call it, on the face of the planet, because these describe every motive for every feeling, every behavior, every belief, everything in the whole world in the human experience comes from understanding these 6 human needs. So, as it says right here, these 6 human needs, the real reason behind why anyone does what they do or feels what they feel. Okay. These are the targets that are universal behind all human behavior. Now, as I said, we understand what someone does in order to create the emotions that they're feeling and how that affects their mindset. Right. We learned about the triad, the body, the mental focus, and the language. We know we know that when their emotions change, so does their mindset, and therefore what they do. But none of that answers the major question. Why do they choose to feel those emotions and take those actions when it doesn't serve them? Like when they're depressed or anxious and it doesn't serve them, why do they keep doing that? Well, because the answer is it does serve them. The only reason you or I or anyone else do what we do is because we're meeting at least one of our 6 human needs, at least one of them, or else we wouldn't be doing it because the brain has to meet these needs. Now, quick little sidebar to this that I didn't put in the notes here. Our values that you learned in the last session are learned. You learned what's most important to you in life, but these needs are inborn. They're actually built into the human nervous system. So there's a difference between, say, me as your dad teaching you what's most important in life. Like, Tyler, you need to study. Tyler, it's life's about being successful. Life is about, pleasing other people. Life is about happiness. Life is about love. Whatever it is, right? We learned what life is about in terms of what's most important in our values. But then there's our needs, which are inborn. You have to meet these needs. Now, remember this. I believe I put this on the next slide, but I'll say it right now because you guys, I have clients who I've been telling this for a year and they're still not remembering it all the time, which is okay. Repetition is the mother of skill. We will all violate our highest values, which is what's most important to us in life. We will violate our highest values in order to meet our needs. That is very, very important to remember because when someone does something that you think is despicable, or how could they, or how could I do that thing, or how could I be feeling this right now, you got to remember it's because you're trying to meet some needs. Okay. And now let's go back to this. When you can understand which needs somebody's trying to meet behind their behavior or emotions, you will understand the motive behind all human behavior. And then you'll learn how to create lasting change in a heartbeat, people. All right, ready? Let's do it. Here are the 6 human needs. So before we do that, though, key things to remember about these needs. I thought this would be really, really important to put in there before we actually dive in. Number one, no matter if we're talking about Jeffrey Dahmer, who literally ate people, or Mother Teresa, we're all trying to meet these needs. We have to meet all of these needs at all costs because these are our survival. The only people who are not meeting these needs are in the graveyard. Okay. Two, the only difference between people isn't whether or not they're going to meet these needs, but our beliefs about how we're going to meet these needs. So we're going to talk about radically different ways we can meet these needs, but the only difference is really that. our beliefs about how to meet them, okay, how we've learned to meet them. 3, these needs can be met in positive, neutral, or negative ways. So they're not just like positive things. Sometimes when I ask people, like, how are you meeting your needs by this behavior or this emotion? They're like, I'm not. I'm like, well, you are, but let's talk about how we can meet them negatively too. Okay. Number 4, anytime anything, a thought, a feeling, a behavior, a belief, a substance, a person, literally anything, anytime anything meets at least 3 of these needs, that person will be addicted to that thing immediately. It doesn't matter if it's pissing people off or making people happy. You will be addicted to it immediately if it meets at least 3. 5, there are obtainable ways to meet these needs, and there are sustainable ways to meet these needs. The attainable ones aren't usually healthy, but the sustainable ones are. Number 6, human beings will violate their values to meet their needs. We've learned what's important to us in life, but these needs are just that. They are needs. Now, the reason why I want to reiterate that so many damn times, okay? People will violate their values to meet their needs. The reason I want to reiterate this a million times is because people will intellectually understand this, but then when their partner or their friend or their mom or their dad or their child or themselves or someone in the world does something that they themselves would do, they get so angry. How could they do this? It's like, you fucking know. You know they'll violate their values to meet their needs. So if there's anything I really want to pause on for a second before we get into this, it's that. I want you guys to write that down, put it on as the background on your phone, tattoo it on your forehead, write it on your mirror. Like, I want you guys to really understand this. Can we just all agree on this for a second? People will violate their own values to meet their needs. Now, let me give you a quick one, like a real quick one that most of us can understand. Just that really drives this home. How many of you would consider yourself to be an honest person, just in general, that you believe, yeah, I'm an honest person, okay? How many of you who consider yourselves to be an honest person have ever lied before? If you're saying you haven't, you lie about other shit too. The reason that you lied, even though you consider yourself an honest person, is because in the moment where you lied, you felt like if you were honest with this person or with yourself or in this situation, you felt like if you were honest, you would miss out or lose a couple of your needs. And so you're like, fuck it, I cannot be honest right now. I need to lie because I need to preserve the need. Now it's gonna make more sense when we get into it right now, but I want you guys to sincerely feel this, all right? Let's begin these needs. All right. The first need, okay? Let me give you one more piece of background on this first. You can obviously read this, but I want you to pay attention for a second. We were all raised with different backgrounds, different educations, different rules we were raised with, different languages, different language patterns, different belief systems. But the one thing about all human beings is we are hardwired with the same needs. So the game of life, whether you're 3 minutes old or 30 centuries old, pretend that made sense. The whole game of life is to meet these needs. So even though we were taught different ways of life and religions and backgrounds and blah 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 blah, all these different things, it's all just different ways of life, different ways of thinking in order to meet these needs. These needs are literally behind everything. Okay, so let's get right into it. So the first need is for certainty. As it says here, certainty is the need to avoid pain and ideally have some kind of comfort or pleasure. This is the survival instinct because continuous pain equals damage and continuous damage eventually equals death. So different kind of words for certainty are things like comfort or security or having a feeling of predictability, having a feeling of control or protection. These are all the needs of just certainty that we can be okay and comfortable. That's all that this means. Now, usually when I explain these needs, people say, oh, okay, well, I can see all the basic day-to-day things with these needs, but what you're going to discover is, like I said about the Jeffrey Dahmer versus Mother Teresa thing, even insane people who are like, oh my God, there's no way that they're sane. Well, maybe they're insane, but they're still insane to try to meet these needs. So it's still 100% of the time, it will be about these needs. So a couple of examples. How can we meet these needs? Or pardon me, this need. Let's first look at some of the negative ways we could meet our need for certainty. We could overeat, because when you overeat, all the blood rushes to your stomach and you start breathing again. And that deeper breathing gives you that sense of comfort for a moment, right? Just calms down the body. You feel certain in that moment. Anger. When you're angry, your body gets tense and there's a bit of a fuck you to it. And in that moment, we feel this certainty that we can get what we want or people will respond to us. There's just a certain feeling to it. Like, I know I can pull this off. I'm going to make this happen. I deserve this. You're going to respond to me. I know, I'm thinking of examples here, but like anger has a big certainty to it. Okay. Depression. When we're depressed, we have some sense of certainty that people will be there for us to comfort us. We know typically, and especially in a 2023 world, we know that we can usually avoid painful tasks and stay comfortable without people really harping on us to do it because we're dealing with this big problem of depression, right? Or at a minimum, that people won't be mean to us because how could they be mean to me? I'm hurting so much, right? And I'm not even being what do you call it, like mean to you guys or like condescending. That's the word. I'm not being condescending. This is the pattern of how these emotions work. Next one, having a negative label such as bipolar, because when we have that label, first of all, it's an identity, right? And the strongest way to have some certainty in our life is a certain sense of who we are. If I don't know who I am, I don't know what to do. I don't even know what to get up and do today. If I didn't have the identity as a coach or a businessman or a leader in this world or an influencer or someone who's born to change lives, like if I didn't have any of those as core identities, I would not have woken up this morning and be like, all right, got to record the next training. I wouldn't know what the fuck to do. I wouldn't know who I am. So we need to know who we are to function. And if who you are is bipolar, right? We can feel certain that it's not our fault that we aren't succeeding. We just have this really big problem we can't get rid of, right? It's keeping us comfortable by not facing that deepest fear. So we still have that comfort from it. Another one, trying to control people. Because if I can control you, then I can feel certain of how you're going to behave because I'm in control of it, right? But have you ever noticed how stressed out people are? Like when they're trying to control the situation and everyone around them, they're stressed out to no end. Why is that? Because they can't control everything. There's just no way to do it. So I'm trying to meet my need for certainty by controlling other people and situations. But since I can't do it, just by definition of life, I'm going to be stressed out because I have no certainty by the way I'm trying to meet that need for certainty. Okay, what's another one? Being skeptical or cynical. This is one of the most popular ways. Being skeptical or cynical keeps us feeling safe because we never have to be disappointed when things don't work out because we were certain it wasn't going to work out. So I'm not disappointed. I feel certainty that I was right. Totally good because it wasn't going to work out anyway, right? So it's self-fulfilling. Now let's look at some positive ways we can meet our need for certainty. Take a sip of water here, Tyler. All right, we can just have a belief. Having a belief that says, you know what, I've always found a way to figure things out before. I'll find a way again. Just trusting because based on your history, you and I have literally, by definition, always found a way eventually to make something work, right? Because we got here, we had to have found a way. Where's my cursor? There it is. Making money gives us a sense of stability, which is another word for certainty. Giving to someone gives us a feeling that we know we're doing the right thing. Again, we're certain that we're doing the right thing, right? Learning new skills makes us feel certain about our future or what we're able to do or accomplish, right? Breathing, literally, instantly brings comfort to the body without any negative side effects and calms the mind immediately. Fun fact. Remember the triad that we talked about when it comes to the body? The different ways you breathe changes your entire mind. And when I say changes your mind, it clears all your thoughts immediately. Having a daily routine. It's predictable and it gives us a sense of control over our day. Having a sense of purpose makes us feel like our life has direction and meaning. Okay. Now I put a note here. What did my note say? Let's remind myself. It's important for all of us to know that every single person has the resources to solve their own problems and achieve their goals. The only reason they're not doing it is currently, pardon me, is because those problems are meeting their needs. That goes for you and I as well. Yes, this is so true. Like, well, that must be why I wrote it. It's so true. So even if maybe after this course, holy shit, this white boy knows a lot. Oh my God, so exciting. He can solve my problems. Thank you so much. Even if you're like, you know what, I'm going to hire Tyler or a therapist or whoever to help me through my problem, we can't actually help you through it. We can guide you to making different decisions and different realizations and making new connections in your mind about what things mean. Like we can guide you to all of these things and have major breakthroughs. And yes, I won't lie, I know how to do major precision to help you through very quickly, but you still have to be the one to do it. Like legitimately, I can't control your hands and your feet to, have you go to the gym. I can't control your words. I can't pull words out of your mouth to say to your spouse. Like we still have to do the thing, right? So my point is you still have all the resources to actually change your life and solve all your problems. But the only reason we're really not doing it is because not doing it in some way or another is currently meeting our needs. Therefore, we're addicted to the problem. And we're addicted to the problem because it saves us from that deep fear of not feeling like we're enough. Okay. So in this program, you're going to learn how to strategically get people past their problems in minutes and get them moving towards their goals. That's what this that's what this program is going to promise. Okay. Now it's going to take some time and some repetition of learning these skills and watching these modules, but that is what it will deliver. Now let's look at the second need. Uncertainty. Uncertainty, think of it as the need for change or stimulation or surprise, all right? We all need variety or change, or else life would feel literally dead. You'd be so goddamn bored. So if you knew what was going to happen day after day after day after day, when it was going to happen, how it was going to happen, we'd like that for a while, wouldn't we? That'd be kind of cool. We could predict everything. We know exactly what to do, where to go, blah, blah, blah. But after a while, what would we start to feel? Yes, I wrote it here, which I shouldn't have. Bored out of our fucking mind, right? I didn't say the word fuck, but you get the point. Code words for variety or uncertainty, pardon me, are things like variety, surprise, excitement, fear, anxiety, change, the unknown. This is all uncertainty, right? Now we can get these again in positive, neutral, or negative ways. Let's explore some. There's some negative ways. We can get it by smoking. When we're all bored or stressed out, we go outside and have a cigarette. Changes our focus, changes our body, therefore changes how we feel. We can go eat, right? When we're bored or stressed out, we go eat something. Again, changes what we're focused on in the moment, which is food, changes our body, boom, changes how we feel once again. We can have a big problem. Life's feeling so boring, not much going on. We decide to tell people about all of our problems, and suddenly there's entertainment. There's something to do. Changes how we feel. We could cheat. Our relationship is dead. There's no surprise at all. We could talk to someone else. It's like this rush inside of secrecy. It's a risk. There's massive variety and makes us feel alive for a moment. And while we're doing it, it's like a drug, right? It's like a drug. It's like that's never going to be sustainable, and it's a negative way. But in that moment, it'll give you a rush of that uncertainty, like what the fuck is going to happen? Like any kind of, by the way, this isn't just cheating. Any kind of secrecy or novelty or surprise or adventure, like all of those risky things or dark things will always give you a sense of uncertainty, whether it's negative or positive in the way you perceive it. It's always going to give us that sense of just, oh my God, right? So by the way, I just want to say, like, these needs aren't bad. They're just needs, and it's you and I. It's our job to figure out healthy and unhealthy ways to meet them. Well, not figure out unhealthy. You know what I mean? Whatever we come up with, it's either going to be healthy or unhealthy. But that's up for you to honestly decide. Because again, what's right and wrong? Nothing's right or wrong. It's what we learn to believe. You could argue with people. If I'm bored and I start an argument, there's going to be some variety there, right? Never know what's going to happen. Never know what people are going to say. It's interesting. We can get angry. When we're feeling weak, anger makes us feel a sense of strength. So there's variety and swinging from one to the other. It's variety, right? If I'm like, oh, and I snap into this, which is what most people call bipolar, which you'll discover it's not. It's something else later on. You'll discover that. It gives us a sense of variety in the body. Like it's a new feeling. There's variety there. All right. Now let's look at some positive ways that we can meet our need for uncertainty. You can set a new goal. It gives us something to look forward to and get excited about. You can have a stimulating conversation. Again, sense of excitement. You can get new skills, lots of learning and variety involved. You can start a business. Again, lots of variety and uncertainties. You can have kids. So much variety in that process. It never fucking ends. I don't know if that's positive or negative for you, but you can decide, right? Third need, significance. This is the need to feel important, special, unique. We all have the need to feel worthy of attention, okay? Because again, when we're first born, what do we need to do in order to be loved? Nothing. We can literally do anything. Poop, cry, scream, scratch, slobber. You, by the way, a baby gives you nothing back. A baby does not give a shit. They give us a little smile and a little or goo goo gaga, whatever the fuck it is. Every once in a while, we're like, oh, he's so cute. Like they don't give us anything, right? So we are drugged with oxytocin to love this baby. It doesn't give us anything in return. So there's a point in time where the oxytocin in parents, more a mother than a father, but in parents wears off, and that is hell to pay for a baby because that baby goes, oh my god, the same things that I was getting a ton of love for, I'm no longer getting love for. I'm getting a slap on the wrist, or I'm getting like a weird look, or I'm getting ignored. So the question comes in our mind, oh my god, what do I now need to do in order to be enough, in order to be significant enough to be loved? This is where this need comes in. We all have a need to be significant. We have to feel like we are, well, right here, code words for significant. We need to feel like a sense of importance or feeling unique or special, needed, wanted. Maybe it's like we're the best. We all have this need. At this point, I should mention as well, anytime someone isn't letting go of their problem, regardless of what the problem is or how big it is, it's absolutely meeting their needs for certainty and significance at a minimum. The reason is because, as I just explained, the deepest fears that we all have is that we're not enough. And if we're not enough, we feel like we won't be loved. That's the deepest fear. And so having a giant problem prevents us from that feeling, right? It makes us feel like I'm still significant. It's not my fault. I just have this really big problem. Problems are, bar none, the single biggest addiction on the planet. And I don't say that from any like egotistical place. We literally could solve any problem in the moment, but we keep them around because it's like a teddy bear. Me too. Not just you, not just clients, not just your loved ones. Me too. Anytime we have a problem and we've not solved it, it's because it is preventing us from the deepest fear that we have, which is that, but if I don't have this problem to justify what's going on in my life, why I'm not where I want to be, why I don't have a great relationship, why I don't have a great career, why I'm not making the money I want to make, it's preventing us from facing the deepest fear. Because, well, if it's not this problem, then maybe it is me. And if it's me, fuck, I don't know what to do. Maybe I'm not going to be enough to deserve love. If I go out there and try and I fail, I might look unworthy of being loved. So I hope you're seeing how this process works. Significance is one of the biggest drivers in all human beings. And at all moments, we all get sucked into the trap. I do too. But focusing on significance and or certainty will cause the biggest pain in anybody's lives. And you'll find out soon that any of the big problems we have, and I mean even the biggest problems, such as whether it's schizophrenia or feeling bipolar, quote unquote, like those emotional swings, or whether it's splitting personalities, or whether it's bulimia, or whether it's anorexia, like these really big problems, our nervous system is desperately trying to make sure that we are certain that we are still significant enough to be loved. It's such a driving force that I want you guys to understand. It's not just like, oh, going to work or making money or making love with your spouse or watching a movie with the family or going on vacation or drinking your coffee. Like, it's not just the little things, it's major problems too. Okay. So let's look at some negative ways that we can meet our need for significance. You can have a really big problem. If my spouse isn't paying much attention to me and all of a sudden I'm anxious or depressed, they start making me feel really important again. Tyler, hey, it's okay. Like, you're amazing, blah, 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 right? I'm feeling significant and I'll keep that problem because I found a way to feel significant by them again. This is working. Another way, we can tear people down. I can either build the tallest building in town or I can tear everybody else's down, right? That's a way to feel significant. I perceive I'm significant because I didn't need to go out there and build the biggest building. All I had to do is tear all yours down, and it looks like mine's biggest now, right? We can have an affair, going to someone else who makes us feel significant in the moment because we feel like our spouse isn't, right? This is a very common pattern in our culture. Having more money than someone else or being more spiritual than other people. I'm better at you. I meant to say better than. I'm better than you because my religion is better, or I'm worth more than you, right? It's like people say like, I'm not into significance. I'm just a Christian, or I'm just a Catholic. Well, you make it very clear that your religion is more important than anyone else's, right? So we're all playing the same game. You can be depressed. No one's making us feel significant, so we get depressed, and now people are giving us attention. It's the same as the unsolvable problem at the top. You can disagree with everyone. If I disagree with everything you say, I'm significant in my own opinion. Oh, and I'm always right, and you're always wrong, right? So I'm significant, you're insignificant in contrast to me. We can have an eating disorder. This is the problem that most people can't solve. Therefore, I don't have some little problem. My problem is very significant. It's fucking huge. No one can solve it. I'm destroying my life, but I'm significant, right? So, by the way, again, none of this is me being facetious. I'm not making fun of problems. I want you guys to have a new perspective on how these problems operate in our life. Because think about this just for a second. No matter how difficult a problem may seem at the time, whether it's medical or financial or emotional or whatever it might be, every problem is solvable one way or another, even cancer. There are ways to solve all of these problems, even if it takes a long fucking time to figure out. There is a solution in this universe to every single problem in the world. So why haven't we solved it? Well, maybe we're fucking working on it and we haven't found it yet. That's possible. But most things have a solution for it. Why can't we solve it? Because it is a significant problem and it saves us from that deepest fear. Okay. By the way, one thing I will say is don't just go up to your clients and loved ones like I did in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, and go, oh my God, I know why you're depressed. Because you feel significant with it. Like that's not a good approach. I'm gonna show you strategically as we go in this course how to do it. All right. Because by the way, I want to be honest, right? It's not about like, oh, I'm depressed, I am significant. That's not how people see it. When they're feeling depressed or anxious or something of that nature, like a big problem like that, a big emotional problem or a behavioral problem, that's not usually the way they're meeting their need for significance. It's usually more of a, I'm preventing myself from feeling insignificant. Do you see the difference there? There's like, I am the best. Yes, I'm amazing. Like I'm significant. And like that one versus like, I'm not insignificant, right? I'm not unworthy of love. Just this big problem. I'm still worthy of love. Like I'm still significant. There's a bit of a difference there. Well, not a bit. There's a huge difference there, but that bit of a distinction is everything. That is usually how people meet their need for significance with their problems. It's not like an ego thing. All right, positive ways. We can be a good mom or business person. It gives us a sense of doing something meaningful in our lives. You can have a degree, having those letters beside our name, like PhD or doctor or lawyer. That's not letters, but that's like a name, right? It gives us a sense of like prestige. I worked so hard for this. I am something. This is amazing, right? You worked really hard for that identity, so it's awesome. You can contribute to society, feeling a sense of mission by helping our neighbors or the people around us. You can have a sense, having a specific way you walk or talk or hairstyle, like my greasy hair right now, or your tattoos or piercings. Like I have a tattoo there, I have a tattoo there, I have a tattoo there, I have one on my chest. Why do I have those? Because I like them. Well, why does that matter? Well, because I wanted them. Well, why do I want them? Well, because I feel like I'm awesome with them. Like I look good. They're pretty cool. I like having them. I like the way they look. What does that mean? Saying I like the way that it looks on me is just a way to say significant. I feel significant by having this thing, these clothes or this car, right? Again, I want you guys to notice how many different ways and levels in which these need to be met. It's not like I have these tattoos, therefore I'm the fucking best. It's literally part of me just, I really like how these look on me. Therefore, I feel significant having them, right? These can be such innocent ways, but still significant. You can break through big problems. Solving problems make us feel as accomplished, makes us feel like we did something awesome. Doing the right thing, doing something we believe is right gives us a sense of major significance. It's like I did that, right? I feel good. I did that. Let's look at the fourth human need, love and connection. The need for love and connection is the need to feel connected with others and ourselves, feel a sense of community and belonging with others. Code words for love and connection are community, connection, love, adore, togetherness. This is pretty self-explanatory, but here's what I'll say. These first four that you have just learned about, and you're about to learn about the fourth here, these are survival. we are going to do anything we can to meet them. You're Jeffrey Dahmer or you're Mother Teresa, you're going to find one way or another to meet these needs. They're inevitable. You can't not. Okay, and I'll give you a couple of examples once I've explained this one. I think I should give it here. But anyway, you're going to learn very quickly. Once you have finished this session of this module of understanding people, you're never going to see other people's behavior or your behavior the same way again. Now, you might want to watch this one over and over and over again. Okay, let's look at some negative ways to meet our need for love and connection. We could share our problem. You know, we all know the saying that misery loves company. The easiest way to feel connected with you is to share my problems because people will probably commiserate with you, right? People will probably be like, oh, tell me more. Like, it's all right. Oh, fuck. I know your problem. That's crazy. I have the same problem. Like, oh my God, right? So it's just like this. If I tell you how much I'm achieving, you could love me for a bit, but after a while, you can say, Tyler, easy for you to do. Like, you're Mr. I don't know, Mr. Positive or Mr. Solve it all or Mr. You have lots of money or lots of clients. Like, easy for you, right? We can rationalize why someone has that great life or is having that great day. But at the end of the day, the only reason why we would want to tear them down or say easy for you is because we look at them and we go, wait a second, I'm not doing as much as them, therefore I feel insignificant to their achievements. And so it's easier to tear you down to feel significant than to like go out and kick ass and kick ass and take names or take names and kick, you know what I mean, and just do our thing because that risks our deepest fear of not being enough. So the easiest way to get connection is not to say, oh my God, guys, I'm building this leadership program. It's going to be amazing. It's going to change lives. I'm going to make lots of money. I'm going to make an impact. This is incredible. I'm building this really significant thing. The easiest way to connect with you is go, oh, guys, building this program is a fucking bitch. There's so much that goes into it that people never know. Like, it's brutal. People are going to say, man, that's crazy. Like, I got this shit going on too, man. It's just easiest. It's an easy way to connect with people, right? So misery loves company. Another one, having an affair, gives us a momentary sense of connection with someone else, right? Feeling depressed, feeling sorry for ourselves allows us to connect with ourselves. What did I write? I should just be going off the cuff here, but I wanted to make sure I didn't forget any important notes. Feeling a sense of feeling sorry for ourselves allows us to connect with ourselves when things are feeling very hard in our life, right? It's a lot easier to do that than, again, go out and just kick ass and take names. It's really hard to do that. You have to face your deepest fear. Having a negative labels like bipolar or body dysmorphia. There are countless support groups out there for people who will connect with us or talk to us over this issue alone without any real solutions. Purely just a place to talk about them. Have you noticed that? And this is not making fun. If you go to a Facebook group, there is plethora of groups for body dysmorphia, anxiety, panic attacks, affair stuff, like people cheating on each other or whatever, like a marriage, you know what I mean? Or body dysmorphia or suicidal prevention groups, or not prevention, pardon me, awareness. Notice there's a difference between suicide awareness and suicide prevention. Major difference. But there's all these groups for support and alcohol, like all these drugs, all these support groups. And we can go there, and the intention is beautiful to create connection, togetherness. No, you're not alone. You know what's going on, but notice the feeling there. You're not alone. We're all together in this problem, which is beautiful intention, but it's not solving the problem. It's a way to meet a lot of our needs. Therefore, we keep going there, and it's like feeding the problem rather than saying, all right, what needs are we meeting through this problem? How can we strategically create a better life for ourselves and get rid of the problem and feel better? That's not what most of these groups are doing, just being totally honest with you. And at some level, if you enrolled in a program like this with me, it's probably because you believe the same thing at some level. Now, I say that open and freely here because in order to join this, you would know what I'm doing for my clients. And you and I have likely talked about this many, many times in DMs or in one-on-one sessions. Like, to get to this program, I just know the kind of person you are, and you're seeing it the same way I do to some extent, or you just would not. People have a very love or hate for the kind of work I'm doing. And so if you're in this, it's because you and I are kindred souls and we want the same thing for the world, and you have some similar perspective as me. So I'm sure you can see what I'm saying by that. We want to actually solve these problems by being a realist, not some like I don't know what going to a support group and not getting help would be called, but like doing that, right? We want to help people solve their problems so they can create an extraordinary life on their terms. Back to the point. Violence. If I had a gun pointed at your head right now and you and I are suddenly very connected, and it might be in a really shitty way, but at an extremely high level, even just for 2 seconds ago, you did not even know I existed. Right now, I am not only the most significant thing in your life, even though you might have kids and a spouse, I am the most significant thing in your life, and we are completely connected in this moment. You are so present with me because I have a gun to your head. I'm about to kill you, or you're risking your life, or whatever, right? So very, very connected. All right. Let's look at some positive ways we can meet our need for significance, or pardon me, for love and connection. We can make love. Obviously, it makes us feel connected to our spouse. Having a friend, a conversation with a friend makes us feel connected to the friend. We can go to a sporting event, connects us with like-minded people. Walking in nature connects us with nature and ourselves. Our business connects us to a larger purpose in our clients. Having a pet gives us a sense of connection with an animal. Um, I mean, fuck, if nothing else, just get a pet, like, or get a dog. Like, you walk out to get the mail, you come back 5 seconds later, and they're like, they're so excited to see you, right? It's like you've been gone 10 years. So it gives lots of connection there. Having kids gives us a sense of connection with the people we love most. Now, I wrote this note down here. I could keep going, but as you can see, there's literally limitless ways to meet any of these needs. So I didn't write one thing I wanted to write here. Let's talk about this. Anytime you meet at least 3 of these needs, I might have actually said it. No, I didn't. So anytime, can you tell that I wrote these slides and I'm recording them on different days? So one thing that's important, anytime at least 3 of these needs, I'm saying that weird. Anytime anything meets at least 3 of these needs, we're addicted to it. And so I actually think I did say this at the very beginning. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You know what? Done is better than perfect. That's why I'm not stopping to record this whole thing over again. Done is better than perfect. And I want you guys to have that mindset for yourselves too when you're building your business or just fucking trying all these things on people. Like, just fucking do it. Okay? It doesn't matter how perfect it is. You can tell I'm not a perfectionist. I'm going off script like 38 times in one slide. So, getting back to it. Anytime anything meets at least 3 needs, we become addicted to it. So I want you to think about this for a second. People will tell kids like, don't get into violence, or don't join gangs, or don't do drugs. Great. We can say that logically, and I would like to say that too, right? However, think about this. Let's say I'm at home. I'm a 16-year-old kid. I'm at home. I just don't feel very significant. I don't feel very connected or loved. I'm not feeling certainty that I'm really valued here. What happens when I join? I don't feel a whole sense of variety. So what happens when I join a gang? Instantly, I am significant. I put on that jacket. I'm with a bunch of people. There's a purpose. There's a sense of mission, even if it's a negative mission. I am significant AF. For those of you who aren't cool, that I'm. For those of you who don't know what that means, it means as fuck. I'm significant as fuck, right? I'm connected with the people around me. There's 2 needs met. There's variety. You never know what the hell's gonna happen. Who's gonna barge in? Who's gonna shoot me in the corner? You never know what fights are gonna break out. You never know the drama that's gonna be created. There's 3 needs met, and if that wasn't enough, the 4th need, we feel a sense of certainty that I belong somewhere now. The certainty that people will have my back. A sense of certainty of a mission or a purpose, that I'm valued somewhere. So we're meeting 4 needs, and though we're doing it all negatively, they're probably at very high levels. So we want to think about this not from a good, like all these needs, you don't want to think about them from a good and bad standpoint. You want to think about them from an observation standpoint, like a scientific standpoint. Like, okay, I don't like my spouse's behavior. I don't like my kids' behavior, my client's behavior, my whoever's behavior. Which needs could they be meeting through that behavior, though? There's going to be a reason they're doing it. Because getting angry or upset at someone's behavior is not going to make it any better. It's literally not going to do anything. We're going to go, okay, there's got to be a reason they're doing it, or else they wouldn't be doing it. There has to be a reason. So what is it? These 6 needs give you a perfect little roadmap to understanding, oh, I see what they could be meeting, right? Very important. So these first four needs are the needs of survival. We will do anything we humanly can to meet them. We will lie, work 20 hours a day. We will cheat. We will build the biggest business. We will kill someone. We will hurt ourselves. We will split personalities. We will give to charity. We will make love. We'll have 38 children. We will be giving in society. Like we'll do all the good, all the bad, whatever we possibly can to meet these needs. That's how ingrained they are into us. So this is about not judging, but really understanding and appreciating what people are going through and appreciating their world. If we can do that, only then can we move on to steps 2 through 7 and really create the change and impact people that we really want. So I literally actually just described all of this first part, so I'm not going to even read it. The last 2 needs are for growth and contribution. If a relationship isn't growing, it literally feels like we're dying. Who here has felt like your relationship's not improving or just going further, like growing more? You feel like you're dying inside. It doesn't feel like, oh, plateau. It feels like something feels off. Something feels like there's tense or tension, right? You got to be growing or it feels like it's dying. Our business, if it isn't growing, it feels like we're dying. If we aren't growing emotionally, we feel dead inside. Everything in the universe, especially people, is either growing or it dies eventually. That's just the nature of the nature of the universe. You have to continuously grow, even if it's like by micro pieces, like millimeters a day or millimeters a week. Just continuous growth. If you want one word for happiness, it's growth. Growth equals happiness. Progress equals happiness. You might want to lose 20 pounds. You might want the best relationship in the world. You might want that 6-pack. You might want to make $10,000. But if you're getting closer to that goal, if you make $100, you're gonna be like, yes, like you're feeling happy now. You might be getting into the gym and you feel happy now. You might be whatever. The second you're getting closer to that goal, even by millimeters, you're gonna be happy because it's not about the goal, it's about progress. When you're making progress, we feel fucking alive inside. Okay. By the way, me even just explaining these things to you makes me feel alive because this is helping. This is making progress in my life. I'm building this business to serve you guys so you can serve others. That's an immense sense of progress and growth for me. So it's totally feeling fulfilled, total happiness. Contribution is the next need. We grow so that we have something to contribute beyond ourselves. We've all done something before where no one had to put stars on our chart. Nobody had to give us credit. Oh, that attaboy, attagirl. We just felt damn good inside, right? What's Oh, that's what true contribution feels like. Also, what's the first thing, guys? What's the first thing you guys want to do when you get good news? You want to share it. And you want to share it with something you love. Share it with someone you love. It's human nature. When we share something, that feeling expands. It's really important to understand that. Uh-oh. There we go. Uh-oh. Battery's running low. You guys probably saw that come up on my laptop, right? Or if you didn't, that's what's happening. Hold on. There we go. So, guys, here we go. We've come a long way, and I want you to rewatch this module a million times because it's going to take that to fully understand them, but that's also why we have the group and the training sessions, okay? So we now understand the 3 parts to understanding and really appreciating someone's world. Not understanding just enough to label it like most therapists. Now, I'm saying most because I know a lot of you are therapists in here. So I want you to understand most therapy, you know this too. That's why you're taking this course, is about diagnosing. So if we can't, I can't remember what it's called, the DCIM or whatever, the thing that tells us, like the book that explains what different symptoms equate to the label that they have, whether it's bipolar or depression, right? That thing is literally the Bible for most therapists. That's what the work is based off of. So if they don't label someone with a problem like, oh, you have bipolar, they can't treat them. They need something to be able to go, oh, this is your classification. Now I can help you because I know how to help the classification, right? This is giving us a whole different dynamic to understand them, okay? Now, again, just as we learned in the part about belief systems, the strongest need in the human, or pardon me, the strongest force in the human personality is the need to stay consistent with our, like, the identity that we have for ourselves. So if we label someone as bipolar or as a narcissist, they literally take that on as our identity, and now we can't influence them because we've labeled them. They can't change their lives because they have to stay consistent with being a narcissist. They have to stay consistent with being bipolar or being whatever the thing is. Really important that we understand that. So understanding and appreciating some of the world is about seeing what is really behind their behavior, what's really driving them to act, behave, or feel the way they're feeling, acting, or behaving. So we understand the three parts of that now. You guys are a million times further than the average, let me be clear, average therapist and most professionals in the helping industry, literally just by understanding these three things. Doesn't that feel good? Like, I'm wondering, other than overwhelmed, how you guys are feeling right now. So share it in the group just for fun. Number one, the emotions that drive their actions. If I'm angry, I'm going to go, rah. If I'm happy, I'm going to go, ee, right? The beliefs that guide their actions. And then thirdly, the needs that they're trying to meet with any of the actions that they take. So think about it like this, okay? I like this. Look at me in the camera, okay? The needs are the target. So this is the destination. Imagine the nearest city to you. That's the needs. Think of the beliefs as the vehicle, like your car that's going to drive you to the destination of your needs, okay? And then think of the emotions as like the gas or the fuel that you put in the car to be able to make it move. Because think about what starts any action, what starts wars, what starts, I was just say starts kids, what creates children, what makes us want to get married. It's not logic, it's emotion. Emotion, excuse me, emotion literally moves us to action. That's why I said emotions drive our actions. I'm getting burpy suddenly. So emotions are the fuel that we choose to put in the vehicle called beliefs that drive us to the destination called our needs. I hope that made sense. Now, let's learn how to use these understandings to begin moving people into creating lasting change. And I will see you on the next module of creating leverage.